Welcome to another episode of Putting the Pieces Together with Jigsaw Learning. I'm joined today by Julie Chorney from Lakeland Catholic School Division. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Jennifer.
So,
Thanks
Julie,
for having me.
thank you for being here with us today. So tell us a little bit about the context of your work, Julie.
Well, I have the privilege of serving all of our division stakeholders in the role of Director of Teaching Quality and Staff Development. So that means I get to work really closely with all 9 of our schools. And of course, I get to work with the students and families for our whole division.
That sounds very exciting. So how did you come to hear about collaborative response?
Well, interestingly, when collaborative response was first introduced to us by our then deputy superintendent, who is now our chief superintendent, it was in May of 2020. And the first thing that our small team told her is, we've worked with Rick Dufour, and this is what we now need. We loved what we did with Rick Dufour in the early 2000s. He had planted the seed. So when she brought collaborative response to us, the first time we heard about it was through her in May of 2020, but we were so anxious and excited to get going immediately.
What is it about collaborative response that sparked that excitement?
Well, as I said, when we learned about the true power of professional collaboration, when we learned about PLC, when we learned about RTI with Rick Dufour, we knew in our hearts and our brains that it would work. However, there always seemed to be some crucial pieces missing. So I was instantly excited when we heard about collaborative response because of a few things. It definitely matches our division's core beliefs. Jigsaw Learning made it clear that collaborative response was not a silver bullet. And the collaborative response model, it makes it explicitly clear how and why educational stakeholders can work together with students at the heart of everything we do. So it really met everything we were looking for.
I can hear the excitement. So how do you think you've been able to spark that excitement in others?
Well, honestly, my colleagues know my commitment to and my belief in professional collaboration. So I can't talk enough about it. And I know that just being positive is sometimes the spark. But in all seriousness, when educational stakeholders, when they work with their students, they just want student success. They want what's best for their kids. And that's clear in Lakeland Catholic School Division, as in all divisions. So one way that I've helped or we have helped to spark that excitement and interest in collaborative response is to always come back to the fact that collaborative response keeps the student at the heart of everything we do. Another way for sparking the excitement is simply reminding our staff, all of our educational stakeholders, that when you walk away from a collaborative response team meeting, for example, you're going to walk away with an abundance of best practices and ideas that can be applied immediately.
So what might be some plans you have to ensure that new staff who join on experience the same spark?
One thing that we've done is we've worked with Curtis to create what we lovingly dub the CR Boot Camp. It highlights the must-knows of collaborative response, so it represents a good balance of theory and practice. Also for our new staff, as our veterans engage with collaborative response and get deep into the model, they're seeing the results and they're feeling supported, and they're supporting each other in ways that hasn't necessarily been in our recent experience. So we often encourage and sometimes facilitate sharing around this so that those new to our division can see the positive impact that collaborative response is already having.
And so what might be some steps you're taking to ensure that the spark is creating sustainable change?
Well, our school administrators are incredible instructional leaders, and they're the linchpin to success. Each of them has surrounded themselves with a lead team at their school, made of members who are just as excited about and dedicated to work with supporting the sustainable change. So while collaborative response is systematic, it's universal, as a division, we're really supporting those lead teams to make the model work in their context. Also, at the division level, we've ensured that all educational staff have access to that high quality professional learning through Jigsaw, and that all staff in all of our sites feel comfortable accessing the lead team at their school, so they also have that just-in-time support. I think a timely next step that our division will take is to work on the advice that Curtis just recently gave to us, and it was never skip the celebrations. We're planning to dial in on this in the coming months.
Julie, you talk about the context of your schools. You've mentioned 9 schools. Can you describe a little bit what those contexts of the schools look like?
Thanks for asking. They are varied and unique, as all schools are. Our schools are set in places that are hamlets. They're that small of population, and places that are small cities. Some of our schools are K-4, some of our schools are K-12. We have a 9 to 12. They vary in size, and what's really interesting is our student and parent and community population is very different between each town. So it's interesting to see that collaborative response, it doesn't matter if we're from a farming community and the school is quite small, or if we're from a larger community. For example, 3 of our schools are in Cold Lake, which houses an Air Force base and is steeped in the oil industry. Collaborative response works the same way regardless of where we are. So that's really exciting.
Thank you for that, Julie. Do you have any additional thoughts regarding collaborative response you might like to share?
I think my biggest thought is when a division sees that collaborative response isn't what we do, it's how we do business. The potential is incredible. I feel like once collaborative response is not embedded in the culture, but it is the culture, I think that that division will be well on its way in supporting their learners and their families in impactful ways.
Thank you for that, Julie, and thank you for your time. I know it's valuable and you have plenty of work to do, so I'm sure our audience would love to hear this. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Well, I really appreciate you inviting us to share Lakeland Catholic School Division's story and our journey, and we look forward to continuing that journey. We'll never ever be done in supporting students, right?
Absolutely. That's a fantastic way to end things. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jennifer.